Hope has a curious way of holding on when reason gives up. Even though I should have known better, I did it anyway. It had been a difficult year. I kept telling myself things, despite the silences throughout dinner, the missed calls, the distracted nods that had long replaced real conversation. Maybe I could change that. Maybe Camille would still look at me like she used to. As if I still mattered. That's why I parked outside her sister's house, holding 3 tiny objects that felt far too big in my hands, and tried to breathe steadily. Her favorite flowers were roses. She used to place them in a vase next to our bed. Rich crimson, with curled velvet petals. It had been almost impossible to find the vintage scent she loved when we first moved in together. I remember calling 3 boutiques. One claimed to have found it in a dusty little shop with no website, along with the damn letter. With shaking hands and too much heart, I spent 3 nights writing that letter, page after page of words I was too scared to say aloud. Months later, I folded it carefully, wrapped it in red, and tucked it inside. Then I got out of the car, holding the white gift bag, and walked up the flagstone path. I remembered everything about Camille's sister's house. It was designed to impress. Symmetrical lanterns, trimmed shrubs. The air was lemon bright. The front door painted the soft, icy color of sea glass. And somehow, it all felt too cold. Not from air conditioning, but something deeper. Camille was in the living room, her back to me, her hair catching the light, her laughter strained but polite. She wore white, always white. Pinned up in that casual way meant to say, I didn't try too hard. But she looked radiant, effortless. I called her name, gift in hand. She turned with a smile just a little too tight. Oh, she said, you made it. I did, I replied, offering the bag. Happy birthday. There was a pause. Just long, enough to make things awkward, before she pulled out the first item. The perfume. She tilted her head, giving me a curious, wow, this reminds me of... But it didn't land like I hoped. Her voice trailed off. She passed the box around like it was an antique from another life. Then came the roses. She glanced at them, then at me. They're your favorite, I reminded her. With a small shift in her tone, she replied, Don't you think? I forced a smile, and then with that same calm distance, she slipped the envelope deeper into the bag. She didn't open it. Didn't even hesitate. Just moved it like it was a receipt. My heart sank, just a little. But I smiled anyway, because brunch had already started. Avocado toast and poached eggs laid out like art. Champagne flutes sparkled on marble countertops. Everyone around us was casually beautiful, dressed like her sister, in pastel linen straight out of a magazine. Margot waved, then leaned in, whispered something to Camille. She gave me a nod that wasn't quite friendly. I stood there, pretending the mimosa someone left behind was mine. Nobody handed me one. Camille didn't introduce me, didn't mention the gift. I tried to join the conversation, made a joke about work, something light. A client thought I was a famous author. But before I could finish, Troy, her cousin, jumped in with a story about his crypto wins, and just like that, I disappeared. Camille didn't stop him, didn't bring the spotlight back to me. Her eyes dropped to her drink. She laughed, but not at anything I said. Not with me. I stayed. Even when it was clear no one wanted me there, even when the letter I wrote, my heart on paper, was treated like background noise. I stood through the brunch, the music, the laughter I wasn't part of. I stayed, hoping maybe she'd still open it. Maybe something would change. By the end of lunch, I was still holding that mimosa, still watching her grin, at everyone but me. I saw it clearly as she leaned into Margot, laughing with a hand on her arm. was nothing more than a footnote, something she hadn't fully erased yet. But still, I smiled, because I wanted to believe. Maybe it was just me imagining things. Maybe the coldness was just nerves, but the laughter kept coming, in waves, loud and constant, but never for me. Camille stood in the sunlit living room, surrounded. Margot, in oversized glasses. Lena, in her expensive vacation clothes, not making eye contact. They orbited Camille like moons around a perfect, untouchable star. And me? I was the outsider. I heard one of them laugh. "You still get handwritten letters?" Margot lifted the envelope. Wow. Retro. Camille didn't defend me. She just tilted her head, shrugged, and let the conversation move on. As if I wasn't worth the awkward moment, I held on to the mimosa like it could keep me afloat. I tried to give her good news, the kind I used to call her about. We landed Big One National. "Huge deal," I began. But again, Troy cut in, and Camille turned to him with interest. "Wait, did you hear what Elon said about Dogecoin this morning?" That was it. I stood there half smiling. No one asked about my news. No one even looked. The brunch table stretched long. White, Instagrammable, blush napkins, gold plates. The seat beside me stayed empty, right by the window, where the sunlight helped hide the sting in my eyes. Then came the toast. Camille's sister stood, flute raised. "To the woman who is beauty, brilliance, and business," she said. Applause erupted. Camille stood, humble, glowing. "I feel truly lucky," she began, "to be surrounded by strong, inspiring women." No glance in my direction. She spoke about resilience, self-love, letting go of what no longer served her. The crowd snapped their fingers and cheered, and I wondered, was I part of what she let go? People refilled drinks, laughed, snapped photos. I tried to help clean up, just to feel useful. No one stopped me. No one noticed. I stacked plates, adjusted the balloon wall, did something, anything, to stay steady. As I passed Camille and her group, Margot murmured something. Camille smiled, didn't look at me. I wasn't part of the performance. The air outside was cooler now. Wind chimes in the distance. I told myself it was okay. That maybe she hadn't read the letter yet. That maybe it would mean something later. But deep down, I knew. I crossed to the back, around the house, toward the kitchen side entrance, dishes in hand. Then I saw it, next to the recycle bin, the garbage bag, slightly torn. Inside, the roses, crushed, the perfume box, still sealed,